Hi everyone, good evening. Can some of you give me a go ahead if you can see me and hear me properly? Hi Nisha. Guys, can you hear me and see me properly? We'll get to your issues, Sandeep, we'll address them. Okay, great. Okay. So today's live is with Dr. Lovneet Batra. I'm just waiting for her to send me a request to join. Just give me a moment while I request. Okay, we're just waiting for her to send us a request to join. Hi Asha. Hi Sheetal. Hi Subha. Okay, I think Lovneet has joined us. I am just going to take her request. We're just waiting for Lovneet. Thank you, Sandeep. Thank you. So while we wait for Lovneet to come to this live chat, I just want to introduce her a little bit. She is an award-winning nutritionist and a dietitian who holds a double degree from Michigan State University. And we are going to talk about the importance of Ayurveda in our diets and our daily lifestyle, especially in this monsoon weather when you have skin, you have immunity, you have gut issues. Just give me a second. I just want to see if we have patched in. I'm just going to add Lovneet again. Crix Shaz. Hi.
Hello, hi.
How are you, Lovneet?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. I was just using this time to introduce you to everyone.
Yes, sorry. I think, a couple of minutes, it just takes to join in the
Takes
Insta
time.
and
Yeah.
yes, yes.
So thank you for joining us, first of all.
Thank you, thank you. How have you been?
Uh, Good, good. Today it rained a lot here,
Yeah.
so humidity is at an all-time high,
Yes, yes,
which
I
it
know.
is, you know.
Monsoon comes with its own set of pleasures, but also problems. And
Yeah.
especially right now, we are in such a unique situation with the pandemic. So I
And
personally feel this is the best time to sort of, reboot your entire system, health included.
true, true. This weather also tends to take a lot from your skin and hair. Someone like me who has curly hair and oily
Yeah,
skin, my
yeah,
frizz is at an all-time high. My oil
yes,
glands are at, an
yeah,
all-time high. But and as well as your insides, right? So I
right.
just want to jump right into the conversation, and perhaps we can start with, the topic of the day. I think my chat got paused for a minute. So I just want to start by asking you, how do you look at this weather in this season from an Ayurvedic lifestyle perspective? And what,
Mm.
in your view, are the general things that people can do to bring in more awareness to their diet and to their overall well-being?
Right. So the Varsha Ritu in Ayurveda, monsoons, actually slows down our digestive system. And as we know, digestive system is the primary system with which we communicate with the external world. Our body communicates, every organ system, skin included. So skin
Yeah.
is the biggest organ, right? So if I were to say the basic guideline during monsoon is to have easy to digest foods. And we will talk more in terms of food groups, that what are those easy to digest foods. But I feel this is the time, if you are experimenting with fasting, intermittent fasting, it would be the best time to give your body digestive system rest. So, as we know, there are so many food groups we rely on to nourish our body. So, majorly focus on grain. When I talk about cereals, easy to digest grains such as barley and rice. These are very cooling, instant energizers. So, even at this time, most people feel very low in energy. There's fatigue, there are aches
Right.
and pains. So, rice and barley are two grains that really help with that. And pairing it with dals, lentils. So, superfoods during this time, dals, especially without chilka. So, moong, masoor, urad without chilka, they're superfoods for even skin because they give you
Because
in
they're
that,
lighter? Is that why?
they're
They're
easy
lighter
to
to digest?
digest. They're, yeah. So low fiber diet basically, because fiber,
Right.
although we need enough fiber in our diet, but fiber can also cause bloating, digestive issues. It takes, we cannot really assimilate energy out of fiber. So for the same reason, fiber that is more soluble in nature. So soluble fiber from fruits, fruits like
Right.
banana, papaya, seasonal
Yeah.
fruits.
Yeah.
Berries, I think these monsoon is the best time to sort of load up on
Berries.
berries like jamun, right?
Jamun. It's my
It's a
all-time
seasonal
favorite
super,
food.
yeah, and
I
such a
love it.
great fruit for just a purification of your blood, and you can see the glow on your skin if you load up on jamun every day during monsoon, right?
I do that every monsoon season. There's jamun in my fridge at all times.
Yeah,
Love
yeah.
it.
So
Really good. Yeah.
relying on seasonal berries during this time and going easy on protein. I feel a lot of people, when it comes to healthy eating, tend to
Right.
overdo on protein. So, protein from plant based sources or yogurt are the best proteins to go to.
Right.
Again, it's to do with your digestion. And so, plant based proteins would be mostly dals, not even chana rajma, because again, they are very high in insoluble fiber. So
Okay.
mostly without chilka dals, paired with barley or rice. You
Right.
can add yogurt, but you need to focus more on fat during this time. Fat is a strengthener for our body. So
Interesting.
especially starting your morning routine with a good fat. So for your gut health, if you start during, so first you have enough water, up to 500 ml of water, which is a water therapy, which helps in cleansing and detoxifying your body, followed by MCT, medium chain triglyceride, either from ghee or
Okay.
coconut oil. So even in Ayurveda, this therapy helps in just giving calming your system because fat it can be an instant fat from MCT can be an instant fuel for our colon.
Right.
And many people during this time face digestive issues such as bloating, acidity, even IBS, constipation followed
So let
by
me
loose
ask you.
motions.
Let me ask you something on this particular point. How do you consume fat in the morning? What's the best way of consuming it?
We all
With
do it
water
in
or
some way.
just 1 teaspoon, or
Either
how do you use
it's,
it?
yeah, so you take half a cup of warm water and you mix coconut oil. Actually, it doesn't get mixed. You just have to keep stirring it and sort of have it with warm water.
Okay.
Or most Indians have nuts and seeds in the morning when on waking up. So the
Yes.
best nuts and seeds to have during this time would be almonds and cashews, but soaked. They have to be soaked.
So overnight soaked or for a couple of
Soaked for
hours is good.
8 to 12
8 hours.
hours. That's
Okay.
important. So after soaking, you can have almonds and cashews again. If you have dry skin, it can really help because many people think that during monsoon you don't need to hydrate your skin. We sometimes skip on using moisturizer, which is a very big mistake, or
That's a
sunscreen for
big
that
myth.
matter.
That's a big
Yeah,
myth.
yeah. So in
In fact,
fact,
yes, please continue.
please go. I feel hydration during monsoon is something that is easily overlooked. We you For us, for Indians, for anybody who has excessive sweating, we also lose electrolytes. So it's important that the hydration plan that we are following during monsoon has enough electrolytes. So it could be coconut water, it could be panna, it could be jaljeera or homemade nimbu pani because it gives you that perfect balance of electrolytes with little bit of sugar, which helps in better absorption of water.
Right. Right. I think it's very important what you said. In fact, just to take from what you said about skin, because
Mhm.
that's perhaps something that I can talk about. Diet and nutrition is your domain. I think people make mistake of not moisturizing their skin enough in the
Yeah,
season
yeah,
because
yeah.
they feel that their oil glands are active and they don't need it. In
Right.
fact, this is the season where you should not skip on moisturizer at all. Depending on the skin type that you have, if you have oil glands which are overactive, you
Mm.
perhaps should go for a lightweight moisturizing gel instead of a
Mm.
heavy cream. But
Mm.
please ensure that you don't keep your skin without a barrier or without a proper
Right.
moisturizing agent, because that's counterproductive.
Mm.
And in fact, if you put a really good moisturizing cream or a gel, it actually helps your skin retain all the good oils and gives you
Yeah,
that glow. I'm just
absolutely.
going to take a few questions from some of our viewers on this. So, somebody asked earlier on, what is your view on intermittent fasting during this time?
Like I said, this is the time for fasting. But when it comes to intermittent fasting, because the focus is on a window, there could be
Hmm.
different windows different people follow. And the
Hmm.
most common window is 16 hours of fasting and 8 hours of eating.
Right.
Where I see people go wrong is picking the food types because they are eating only for a certain amount of time. They tend to eat the wrong meals, mostly the junk food, which is
Right.
totally counterproductive because you're trying to give your body rest. And you will not
Right.
give your body rest if you are having heavy meals. So I'll just say, I'll probably just, we can, quickly go through intermittent fasting plan where you start your day. I mean, if it's not a dry fast, you can start your day even with water during fasting hours, and then start your eating window with a healthy fat. And here, having 1 teaspoon of coconut oil would be fantastic, followed by a fruit. So for your breakfast, have a combination of fruit with chia seeds, sabza seeds, almonds, or cashews. And the main meal that you are having for lunch could be dahi and barley roti or dahi and rice, because dahi is also natural probiotic with lots
Right.
of seasonal, very well cooked vegetables. Don't go too heavy on salads. And
Hmm.
evening, you can have a fruit again, which is the energizer, or a charge, depending on body type, and end your day with khichdi. Khichdi is like an Indian superfood that is a complete protein. It's easy to digest, and it really helps with detoxifying your system. The fat
Right.
that you use in khichdi again has to be very easy to digest. So cow milk ghee, 1 teaspoon
Right.
you can use there, and that's how you end your eating window. And if you can do this for just 7 days, you'll see a change in your energy levels, your skin, just your overall metabolism. It's just
Right.
a game-changing plan. For just 7 days, you feel the difference.
Right. I mean, we're getting a lot of questions, which is a great thing. I'm just going to dive into questions, some of
Right.
them. Ruchika asked earlier on, is vegan diet a good diet to follow during this time? What is your opinion on following a vegan diet for this weather?
Absolutely. So animal-based products are can cause inflammation, not just because of the types of proteins they have, but also the supply chain we have these days. It's
Right.
so hard to find the right source of either milk or chicken or fish these days, and they're mostly accompanied with unwanted ingredients, antibiotics, and so many fillers that
Yes.
if you just skip on that during monsoon is better. But even if you're following vegan diet, it is so easy to get lost because there are too many products in the market. The
I know.
key is to stick to wholesome plant-based products, which
Yeah.
is, I think, in our kitchens is not difficult at all. Just
Uh,
dal, chawal,
I think
fruits,
the
cooked
best
vegetables.
vegan diet is dal chawal. It's vegan. It's
Right,
as vegan as it gets. Dal chawal and sabzi is as
right.
vegan
Or
as it gets and so easily available in our everyday kitchens. You
absolutely,
know?
absolutely. And it could be made in so many different ways. I
Yeah.
feel the spices that we have, be it ajwain, coriander seeds, they're
Hing.
so digestive. Yeah, hing.
Hing is a
So
very,
just
very
being
good digestive also. If you want to add that in your dals and your sabzis, it for me
right,
personally, I mean, I add hing in almost everything that I can, and that
right.
really helps me with digestion.
Hmm.
So that's another spice.
Totally. Yeah. And especially if you're cooking high fiber beans like rajma,
Yeah.
chana, it can really help adding hing to your preparation.
True. Okay, Ruchika, I hope you got your answer. The next question we have is diet and skincare for oily skin in particular.
Hmm.
Is there some kind of diet that you would recommend for
If you
dry?
have oily skin, I would say stick to moong masoor dal for your protein. Avoid dairy. You could switch to having a homemade almond milk or oats milk. That really helps in controlling for oil control. Two herbs that help: neem and aloe vera. So for neem, you can take 3, 4 leaves and boil it in water and have it as a tea in the morning hours, the first half of your day. For aloe vera, you can either apply it on your skin, that helps, or you can just take about 5 grams or 1 inch piece of aloe vera gel. Just make sure that when you're taking the gel out, you only take the gel and not the yellow fluid that is around the stem when you cut it, because
Yeah.
that can be a little toxic, and you wash it very properly. And then you can use that in coconut water or even anar, just a little bit of anar juice, 1 tablespoon of anar juice. It works wonder for oily skin. During this weather, especially, I think if you have oily skin, it's really good that you switch to a vegan diet.
Hmm, true. Just to add to your point, for Sandeepa, who asked me the question for oily skin, I think being someone with an oily skin, I can say this for sure that what I also tend to do is wash my face with plain water many times.
Mm.
I don't use face wash more than I did earlier. So again, it's a myth that the more face wash you use, the cleaner
Mm.
your face gets, because that's not true. You should stick to face using face wash morning and evening. When I say evening, I mean before going to bed. But over the days, over the course of the day, you can use, you can wash your face with just plain water a couple of times. And what I also do in this weather to control at least the appearance of oil is use multani mitti based face packs. So multani mitti has a great property of absorbing oils.
Right.
And especially in this weather, it comes in more handy than say in winters. Because winters you want to use something that's more rich, something that's more
Mm.
moisturizing. But in this weather, I use multani mitti face packs at least twice or thrice in the evening. So I hope that answers her questions. We got another question exactly the same for dry skin. What is the kind of foods that you would recommend, Lovneet, for dry skin as well as skincare for dry skin? Because dry skin does tend to have a certain effect even in this weather.
Right. And I have dry skin, so I can, relate with that. Um, I would get back to the point of hydration. I feel many of
Right.
us go wrong with the hydration, especially with dry skin. And this is the weather when we tend to forget drinking water. The kind of oils that you use is very, very important. Just stay away from refined vegetable oils, because if you have dry skin, that can also lead to patchy pigmentation on your skin. For your diet, it's important that you're having at least 2 different servings of nuts and seeds. So soaked peanuts, eating soaked peanuts as a snack. So take 1 tablespoon of peanuts, soak it for 6 to 8 hours. You can soak it overnight, and having that gives you the choline, the essential amino acids, and also the good fat that is needed for keeping your skin supple and also hydrated, and making sure you're having enough omega 3. I think most of us are deficient in omega 3, which is an antioxidant and also the good fat. It's very easy to take it from natural sources such as flax seeds, sabza seeds, chia seeds, and ghee. Ghee is a natural source of DHA, which is an omega 3 fatty acid, as opposed to chia and sabza that give ALA, a different kind of omega 3. So make sure you're having enough of these foods. And fruits really help. So fruits like, again, banana, papaya, anar, these are really good hydrators for your skin if you have dry skin.
Right. So I just taking a leaf of what you said about oils. Karishma here has asked a question. What are the heartiest oils to cook with? I'm assuming she means in this weather, what are the best kind of oils to cook
Mm,
with? So I think one, you said stay away from refined oils,
mm,
while
mm.
cooking. What are some of the good oils that one can actually cook regular dal sabzis in, especially for this weather?
So if I break down oils and their structure, they're made up of fatty acids. There are different fatty acids that our body requires: monounsaturated, polyunsaturated, saturated, and unsaturated is ghee and coconut that is rich in MCT, omega-3. So there are various ones. Now there are certain, liver is the organ that is responsible for fat digestion. So in order, especially during this time, you need to add more of fat that is self-emulsified. So two fats that are self-emulsified would be ghee and coconut oil. So if you're just preparing, although they are not complete because they don't give you enough muffas. So if you're preparing something that requires cooking for a long period of time, use ghee. If you are preparing something that just needs light sauteing, then you can use coconut oil. Even mustard oil, because it's antimicrobial, it really helps in boosting your immunity, would be a good oil to use during this time, especially if you have joints, aches and pains. Cooking at least one preparation in, so no one oil is complete. I feel you should keep a variety of at least three,
A
four
mix of
different oils.
oils. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
for
agreed,
different preparations. Peanut
agreed.
oil again is a great oil, especially for Indians to use, and that could be cooked for our sabzis. The quantity here again matters. So having about 20 grams of visible fat through these nuts and seeds or oils is important. But due to the digestion factor, which you want to give your liver rest, and MUFAs, although they're very healthy, they are not self-emulsified. Focus on ghee, coconut oil for cooking, and mustard oil.
Right. It's. I mean, we're getting some really interesting questions. Kashish has asked, which can we have ghee for oily skin? I mean, I'm sure you will agree with me when I say this, that absolutely. I mean, I have oily
Yeah,
skin and I eat ghee. I eat
yeah,
ghee in my dal. I put
yeah,
raw ghee on top of
yeah,
my dal chawal. I
yeah,
may not cook in
totally.
ghee, but I'll put
Yeah,
like kacha ghee on top of it. And in
yeah,
my view, I've had oily skin forever.
yeah,
Ghee, in fact, helps me with digestion and therefore elimination.
yeah,
And that overall effect shows up on your skin. So, Kashish, if you have oily skin like me, don't worry about
yeah.
not having ghee. The only thing I would perhaps tell you is don't put ghee directly on your skin, because
On your
then
skin,
that's
absolutely.
a different
You
thing.
got,
But
yeah,
you
100%.
agree with me, Lovneet, that ghee consumption,
Absolutely,
oily skin,
absolutely. Actually, constipation is a big problem when it
is a
comes to
big
your skin
problem.
health.
Yeah, yeah.
And ghee really helps with relieving constipation. So it's
Agreed.
directly beneficial for your
Yeah,
skin because your
correct.
gut health is so closely interlinked with your skin health.
Yeah. So whoever has good skin, remember that gut health is, or genetics, or both.
Both. Yeah, yeah.
So one thing that I want to talk about, Lavneet, which we are also getting a lot of questions, is hair fall. So monsoon
Mm,
brings
mm,
massive hair
mm.
fall, woes for men and women both,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
for all of us, it's a tough time when it comes to hair. From a diet and a nutrition and that perspective, a wholesome perspective, what do you think are the kinds of food that people can eat that can perhaps help
Mm.
with them with their hair fall?
So I'll quickly touch upon the nutrients that our hair needs, right?
Yeah.
Um, Most of us focus on zinc, biotin. Of course, they are really required for new hair synthesis, but more than micro. Most Indians, 75% Indians are deficient in protein. So if you don't have enough protein in your diet, which is what your hair is made up of, the keratin, then you will have, during monsoon when humidity is high, most people are prone to hair fall. But if you're protein deficient, it makes it even worse. So first check for your protein requirements. You need at least 60 to 70 grams in a day.
Right.
Then coming back to food groups, it's the dals because it'll give you magnesium, zinc, the good proteins again, which are needed, and also omega-3. You need the antioxidant fat here for making new hair, and vitamin A, C, E. So vitamin A in this season you can get through papaya, which is, or tomatoes. You can, I mean, we use tomatoes in our daily cooking, but try to have a bowl of papaya.
Yeah.
Vitamin C through amla. Most fruits are rich in vitamin C, bell peppers. And vitamin E is, I think, where people go deficient in. So either having almonds, about 10 to 15 almonds daily, or wheat germ powder. So what you could do is for hair, try to have 2 to 3 servings of dals in a day. You could prepare a quick smoothie with yogurt, wheat germ powder, flax seeds powdered because they give you omega-3 daily, and make sure you're having good amount of protein throughout the day.
I just want to show you what's on my table. Just give me a second. So this is almost over. I don't know if you can see it. These are flax
Yes,
seeds.
yes.
These are roasted flaxseed, just flax seeds, roasted flax seeds. And I just keep them on my work desk where I'll just, whenever I have the time,
Yeah,
I'll just open it and I'll
yeah.
have it. So, for everyone who's also working from home, just keep dabbas like this of roasted seeds and flax seeds so that whenever
And
you're
keep them
working,
visible.
and keep them visible. So I keep them where I work, when I'm working like 8 hours a day, and I just look at them and I'll just take them. So that's a good tip for anyone who's working from home who needs to consume seeds on a regular basis. Just keep them on your table and you won't forget.
Right.
That's one of the ways. Ranjana is asking a question to you earlier, this thing about soaking nuts, cashews and almonds that you had said. She's asking how much to soak. What's the quantity that one person should have ideally of these?
For almonds and cashews, it could be 5 to 7 each. How much to soak as in and how much water? You can use about half a
No,
cup of
I
water
think
at,
she meant
okay.
quantity. Like
How
some people
many?
say
How
5,
many?
some people say 15.
Hmm.
So I think she means how many to soak, which is good
I
enough.
think how many also depends on your overall diet and your nutritional needs. If you are doing 5 to 8, it's totally safe for both. Whether you have, a lot of people think that, oh, but I want to lose fat, so should I include these nuts and seeds that are high in calories, or I have cholesterol? So people have many myths around eating nuts and seeds. So there's no such thing. Anybody can easily have 5 to 7 each
Yeah.
without worrying.
Another question which is burning right now on the live right that we have is acne. Acne again,
Hmm.
it's a problem of monsoon. People, whether they have oily skin or not, I think tend to
Hmm.
have acne as much as they face
Yeah.
hair fall. So from a diet perspective and a nutrition perspective, what would be your advice for people for
I think other than the points that we have already covered, we've been talking a lot about how your digestion needs rest at this time. There
yeah.
are certain foods that you should absolutely avoid during this time. So
Hmm.
it would be your high sugar foods, maida, because insulin levels and your acne, they are directly related. Making sure that your meals are more wholesome and of cooling foods. So, say if you look at your plate, at least half of it is cooked vegetables in
Hmm.
homemade cooked vegetables in low salt,
Right.
especially if you have water retention, puffy face during monsoons. And 1/4 of it is one dal, and 1/4 of it is a whole grain, like rice or barley, or even a pseudo cereal like quinoa because it's not as heating.
Right.
Then there are certain herbs that help in purification of your blood. So uh, coming back to it has to be, your gut health plays such an important role. So starting your day with wheatgrass powder or wheatgrass juice, empty stomach, really helps because it helps with the purification of your blood, just supporting your liver, which is indirectly soothing your skin, right? Um, and then avoiding any food that is stale. I feel a lot of people,
Hmm.
especially, when there's less of that support system is kind of
Yeah.
shaken,
True,
we
true.
tend to have stale food. So don't have stale food.
So
Avoid.
stale food means what? 1 day old is okay, 2 days old is not okay. What's the
It
time
would
frame
really
of
depend
stale?
from food to food, but mostly, especially in monsoon, because the moisture is high in the air and the food goes stale quicker as opposed to winters, right? So
Hmm.
3 to 4 hours. Sorry, it's not a very long window,
Wow,
but it's just 3 to 4 hours.
interesting. So make something for the night, make something for the morning, or
Yeah,
perhaps keep it in the fridge
and smaller
immediately,
quantities,
and
smaller
smaller
quantities,
quantities. Yeah, yeah.
right?
Another,
And avoid.
yes, please continue.
One more thing to avoid refined vegetable oils.
Right.
Even if you're eating something out of a packet, just completely avoid palm oil, refined vegetable oils, because that does play a havoc on your skin.
Yeah, true. A very pertinent question Shweta asked was how much ghee consumption is too much ghee consumption? That's something I guess perhaps people struggle with, because what we
You
say
know,
is good, but how much is too much and how less is. Do you have a
so
point of
I'm
view
a
on
sports
that?
nutritionist, and I
Okay.
have seen athletes drink ghee from katoris,
Correct.
and they are
But we are
absolutely fit
regular
and
mere mortals.
yeah.
What about
But even
regular
like for
people?
my great grandfather, it's so strange because when I saw like a elite athlete do that, I remembered my great grandfather who used to do that but work in a farm all day long. So it really is directly
Correct.
related to your activity level. But I
True.
could say minimum 10 grams. Try to have 10 grams during this time, which is very like two mini teaspoons in a day, whether you're putting it on top or cooking your food in it. So
Yeah.
two preparation, if you're having maiden ghee, then you're having 10 grams. But
Yeah.
maximum, I would say if you don't have very high activity levels, don't exceed more than 20-25 grams. You don't need more than that.
Yeah, I think more because nowadays most of us are working from home, right? There's
Yeah,
the activity levels are not as much as they used to be even say 6 months
yeah,
ago,
yeah.
unless you're working out. Even otherwise, you're at your chair most of the time. So I think 10 grams. Would you say for people with that kind of activity level is appropriate?
If you're using other oils, then 10 gram is okay. If you're only
Yeah.
relying on ghee, then going up to 20 to 25 grams is absolutely fine without
I
worrying
like the
about
way
it.
our questions are going, because the moment we speak, one thing leads to another, and there's a subsequent question that comes. It's brilliant. Okay, so just taking on for that, Bas Sonali Basra. Yeah, she's asking, is it okay to mix two oils to make one sabzi or dal?
No, no,
Um,
because different oils
like
have different
adding
smoke points.
like she's saying, adding khichdi on top of adding ghee on top of khichdi while you've made khichdi, say in another oil. She's
That's
taking that
okay because you're
example.
not heating. So don't
Correct.
heat two oils together.
Ah,
But if
so
you're cooking in one oil and adding another on top, that's okay.
so okay, so I hope Sonali you got your answer. I'm just going to, if we make chapatis with ghee on the gas, putting them, is it beneficial or should you put it on top? I think the answer is put it on top and perhaps not use them to fry the rotis.
Yeah, yeah. But ghee is one oil that does not turn rancid in high heat also because it has high smoke points. So it's safe to even make a paratha with ghee. But again, it depends on the total quantity you're trying to consume in a day because that'll definitely increase your ghee consumption.
Right. Yashita, I hope you got your answers. Best sources of protein, like Navneet said, dals at this point are your best sources of protein. Is ash god good for acidic body? If that's another question. Is
Yes.
it? Okay.
Yes, so vegetables in general, they're fine. You have to, for different body constitutions, the preparation matters a lot. Not everybody can have it raw or juiced form, but for most people, cooking it or steaming it and then having it is absolutely fine.
Right. Interesting. Uh, Please suggest something for gastric and constipation issues in this weather. Is there something that, apart from
I
perhaps
think
what
during
we've
this
spoken about?
weather, Trifla is one remedy that really works. It
Work?
helps in balancing your doshas. It helps with constipation, overall detoxification. It helps with increasing your energy levels also. So if you are somebody who feels very fatigued and having trouble waking up in the morning, getting out of bed, have Trifla as soon as you wake up. For constipation, have it first thing before, last thing before you go to bed, and that really helps.
Right. Oh, this is so informative. Thank you, Divya. Thank you. Yes, I think, thanks for the response. You're very welcome. That's why we're here. Egg whites or whole eggs? What's your view on that? Dushyant
Whole eggs.
Kothari is
There's nothing
asking.
wrong with
Yeah,
having
no?
whole eggs.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yolk has more nutrients for sure. It comes with more calories,
yeah.
but like again, if you're trying to just increase your protein levels without overdoing on the fat, then you stick to one or two yolks in a day, and rest you can use egg whites in so many different ways for binding and in your preparations. But there's nothing wrong with having whole eggs.
Yes. Okay, I think we have almost reached the end of this live. I wanted to leave this live with your top three tips for monsoon that you've incorporated in your life for this weather. Personally, what are the top 3 things you're doing for this weather?
I feel when we look at our diet, most of us have a eating pattern which is difficult to break out of. It is
Mm.
such an integral part of our life that mindlessly we keep doing the same thing even with the change of season. But
Yeah.
if it was one season you really need to break your like mundane routine is monsoon, because this is the time you need to really give at least your digestion rest. So I love eating simple foods. So for me, really, my main meals, lunch and dinner, are dal chawal. Like I said, literally, I start my day with a fruit. Don't overdo on caffeine at this time. That would be one pointer I would like to say, especially because to kill that fatigue.
Yeah.
Include those the superfoods we have in our kitchen, such as ginger, coriander seeds, to just feel light while the humidity might be weighing you down, and stay hydrated.
So, top 3 tips for you. For me, it would be stay hydrated, eat as simple as possible, which is what I'm doing as well. My regular meal is 2 rotis and a sabzi and dal, or chawal and dal, and washing my face with regular water. So yeah, so I hope everyone who's joined in has received something from this live. Thank you very, very much for joining us and staying. And thank you, Lavneet, for your
Thank
precious
you.
time and all the
Thank you,
great tips
Shalini.
you got. Thank you.
Thank you. Take
All
care.
right. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye.
Bye, guys.